can you tell us about yourself and your major and your hopes for your career when you were at Montclair and how Montclair helped you get where you are now?
Of course, of course. I cannot say enough good things about Montclair. A lot of people that I work with actually went to Montclair, and I feel like we have this mutual bond of the Hawks and where, getting where we are today because of it. So I was a visual arts major and I loved every second of it. I started at art education and I realized I loved art and I liked kids. And I was like, I don't know if that something that specific is something I want to do. I didn't want to do freelance, but I have a creative mind. So visual arts in general with a certificate in entrepreneurship, I thought was a good mix of business, art, and getting to where I want to go. So that was my major. I did an internship in interior design and I realized confirmed I have that creative mind and that I want to use it in a business perspective. And then now I work at Hermes, the luxury fashion brand, and I'm on the e-commerce end. I do client relations. So it's a mix of art, fashion, and business. And that is exactly where I want to head. My dream has always been to design the windows of anthropology. And it's something very specific, but it's what it is. And now that I worked at Hermes, I realized the significance of displays, visuals, and inviting the consumer in. And I think that my main goal, there's a new store opening in Princeton, New Jersey, which is kind of near me. So that's the goal, is to then maybe design the Hermes stores and see where that takes me. And then maybe go back to anthropology or stick with, wherever it takes me. I want to continue to use my creative mind in a business perspective.
Wow. That's awesome. You mentioned you did an internship as an interior designer. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, so I actually found it through Hire a Red Hawk. I found my internship and my job through there. So that platform is so helpful in building your resume, mock interviews. They have so many different approaches to postgraduate stuff that is intimidating, that can kind of ease your mind and get you to where you want to go in a calming way. So I found the House of Funk internship, that was the name of the firm, through Hire a Red Hawk. And it was awesome. It was a really small firm, but it was those stunning houses in Montclair that we pass on Valley Road every day. And they said, go to this address on Valley Road. And I was like, me? As a college junior going into that house. So it was awesome. I helped them build floor plans. I went and exchanged cooler tone light bulbs to warmer tone light bulbs. So using, again, my creative mind and that perspective, they could tell that I could go successfully to find that warmer tone bulb or a neutral rug that is more shaggy rather than more kind of straight and firm. And I really feel like I had creative control there. And it could have ended up in a full-time job, I think, if I wanted to stick with it, and I loved it. Do not have one bad thing to say about it, but I just wanted to see what else there was out there. I know interior design interests me, but I kind of want to see where else this could take me. If I wanted to stay in the same job or the same company my whole life, it has to be right. And I don't want to settle. I'm a huge believer in trying new things, not settling. And sometimes that, I overwork myself in a kind of way. So it can be positive, can be negative. But I really feel like putting myself out there now, trying interior design and now going through more of the luxury business realm has been really interesting, in a good mix of everything, and kind of I'm still figuring it out what I want to do. I'm not anywhere near the end, but I can't wait to see where this kind of takes me.
Well, let me ask you one question about your coursework, because I'm interested in this myself.
Yeah.
I'm an intern with the students, and I'm supporting the students. And you have your categories of education fall into fashion design, fashion merchandising, and then just fashion studies in general. Now, when you were studying at MSU, which of these were the most helpful to you? Maybe they all were, but did you concentrate in one of them, and what did they offer? Do you have any advice on that? Because I think it would be helpful to students that are in fashion and selecting their course load like Ariana's doing right now.
Exactly. Sorry, the sound cut out a bit. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we hear you.
Uh-oh, I think she froze.
Oh, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
We're good.
Okay.
We're back.
Oh, no.
Sorry about that. So I do think I loved the ceramics. I loved, the 5-hour, those studio classes were great. But I do think that the business side of it and just taking what I learned to apply it to business, I think some people can pull off doing just freelance and doing their own work. They're really strong artists. I will say I'm a creative person. I would consider myself an artist, but I think the main pieces that I took with me are the business aspects of it. And that's just me personally. I think that with the fashion industry itself, I've always wanted to be in fashion too. Like I said, anthropology. I think that fashion is so creative and it's, you can express yourself through fashion. So I think that creative side of it is fun, but it's also meeting quotas and we have these incentives at work, like a tie incentive. You have to meet a certain amount in this time. What business strategies can you do now that it's Christmas time? Oh, maybe a business higher up in a business wants to buy all of his team members ties and bracelets. So it's, let's kind of steer it in that way so that we can meet the tie incentive and then, have that goal and exceed it month after month, year after year, et cetera. So I think the business courses that I took and taking on the entrepreneurship certificate was really eye-opening of a business side of myself that I didn't really know I had. And now applying that and using those strategies for one of my classes, I think it was with Roth, I think that was his first name. He had his creative business. And I remember my group and I, we did we called it Espresso Yourself. And it was a coffee shop / art studio / like paint and sip of sorts. And yes, the concept was fun and it was nice to create that, but it was also the, how much can we budget for making it? How much can we budget for supplying the coffee or supplying the art supplies? Do we do donations? That side of it, I'm taking that side of my brain with me long term. And along with the creative classes that I took and those art classes that were awesome as well, hearing the experiences like Tim Ken, I will never forget, him talking about his experiences and what went on there and all these different professors that have used their art in a business and professional way is what I took with me through my coursework.
Tell us something about working for a luxury firm. You're working for a French firm for starters. By the way, I did get your daily knot with the tie sewing. In fact, I've gotten 2 of them so far. So you guys are really pushing these. And I will say that the art in the center was great with the pictures of the ties.
Thank you.
Did you have some involvement in that one?
I did not. One day I will, but I did not.
Well, it was very cool. That's something new that Hermes is doing.
Yep.
As far as I can tell with my involvement with them.
Right.
But what's it like? Did they train you for working for a French luxury firm, for a firm that is French based? What type of, coaching do you get or training related to that?
Right. So when I started, like I said, I'm on the e-commerce side of it. So if you call the 1-800 number on Hermes.com, you're getting me. So
okay.
Yeah, keep that in mind. So it's been, I hadn't really seen the products physically, but I'm supposed to be this fashion expert in Hermes, which Hermes, it's next level. It's like a handbag that someone handcrafts. It's not just,
Oh,
something
yeah.
out of a factory. They're hand stitching
Right,
it.
they're
They're
gorgeous.
hand rolling the silks. It's really handmade and handcrafted. And
It
once,
takes months and months and months, if not a year, to do one.
exactly. So that part of it, we did like product training, before starting on the phone. So it was videos. And I think the videos helped, but it wasn't that physical. I am seeing how this bracelet opens to tell them how to open it so they don't break it. Something like that. So there were a couple months. I started July 1st. So it's just been about 6 months now. And I think that it helped, but I needed that physical, just to put a face to the name. And so I visited the American Dream location that we have up north. It was absolutely stunning, blew everything out of the water. Like, we walked up the stairs. I'll never forget, my coworker and I walked up the stairs holding the banister, and it was tied in leather and stitched like the actual Hermes leather. And I was like, oh, whoa.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So that really helps visualize what I was talking about. And then they did a training session for us at the Short Hills location. So they shut down the store for the day. Our entire team, there's like 30 of us. We went to each station. So silks, fashion jewelry, beauty, ready to wear, all of that. And we actually got to feel the clothes, try on that bracelet I didn't know how to open, see if the Iran sandal ran narrow like everyone says it does. Stuff like that, that really, oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Sorry about that. So it really just shows the physical aspects of this brand, this French brand that is so luxury. And I really got it once I saw it. And now I can really be an advocate for, okay, you need to hand wash that or dry clean it rather than putting it in your own wash. And I really think I didn't know luxury until I started this job and studied up on it. And it's really extravagant, and people just rave about this brand, and I know why now. Just seeing the products and getting to understand why the products are luxury and why they're considered to be in that luxury realm.
That's terrific.
Yeah.
And do they say anything about the demeanor of dealing with particular types of clients, because you don't get the run-of-the-mill client?
Yes, exactly.
Not when you're paying many thousands of dollars, let me see, 10, 20 for a handbag.
Yeah.
What do they suggest to you?
Yeah, so it is next level. I'll be candid, it is a different type of person I did not know existed. And it was, I worked in retail. So my job at high school through college, like my part-time job was in, I don't know if you're familiar with the Life is Good brand, but it was like a t-shirt shop in my town. And so it's people similar to me. It's grandmas coming in for their grandkids. It's moms coming in to match with their families. It's very small town vibe. And then I get to this, and it's, can you help me buy this $10,000 bag and ship it to me and hope it gets there okay? And when then we get the calls when it doesn't show up, and then we need to file a claim. So it's a different type of demand. And I will say it's helped me. I have so many stories. I feel like I could write a book already over some of the calls that I've had. But it really is training me to think about the client and put them first. And especially during this holiday season, we have had such an influx in calls and volume in emails. We do emails too. So it's been such an influx, and we need to figure out, how do we keep that quality while also staying efficient with our time and getting to that queue of calls and getting to everyone. Because when you hold on a call for 20 minutes, you're already a little bit antsy to figure out what's going on. If it's a good situation, if it's a bad situation, you're starting to get frustrated. So you kind of just have to, once I see, okay, they've been waiting 20 minutes, let's see what we can do. Then you kind of have to shift your mindset and put yourself in their shoes. And I, as myself, I am a client, not so much of Hermes, but of one day of Hermes. But, these different stores, how do I want to be treated.
Mhm.
I treat people in retail, in anything, but really when I'm talking in retail, how I want to be treated. So I'm going to say, take your time going in the back to see if you have that pair of pants in my size. You know,
Mhm.
it's not, I need it right now. I have an appointment, even though I might, you know, you really have to think of that other perspective of, okay, you know, it's all about the customer and figuring out their needs and finding a solution to get them back. And I learned that in my job in retail in high school and college, of course, the foundations of that. And I
Mhm.
did that job for 6 years. I miss it. It's like family to me. But this, I took all of that with
Mhm.
me to now where I am blown up in this luxury sense and this luxury clientele, celebrities, people that are just, you know, next level.
Yeah.
And them, even, you know, I get some people that want my name for positive reasons, some people that aren't satisfied and want my name for negative reasons. And I kind of just have to take that with, okay, I did everything I can do. I tried to help them out as much as they can. Sometimes it's out of your control. I had to learn that quickly, very quickly. And I think they trained us on, you know, you can only do so much.
Yeah.
And I'm very much the type of person, like, I want to do everything to satisfy. Sometimes that can't happen. And I think that not only in my job, in life, not to get so deep, but I feel like through college, I learned that.
Mm.
And through Montclair, because it's so diverse and because there are so many different types of people I'm coming into, I learned so much about myself and matured so quickly. And I think that part of that was me living on campus. I lived on campus all 4 years and I loved it. And, you know, Montclair is a suitcase school, it is a commuter school. You're running into all these people. A lot of people live there. So you have to kind of find your home.
Mhm.
And I think Montclair does a great job of helping you do that. Whether it's, and even if you're a commuter, then it's going to the commuter meetings or, you know, getting a bagel at the top of Carpe on commuter week, something like that. Like, I think, you know, finding your people and finding who aren't your people and realizing how to deal with that has carried me through my work in a successful way.
Mhm.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, Montclair is definitely, I think that's one of the advantages we have as Montclair students is it's very diverse. You have people coming from New York. And I think that's one of the best things is how the proximity to New York Montclair is, especially teachers. We get a lot of professors that even teach at like Pratt Institute, Parsons School of Design. So we're still getting the same education almost as if we were to go to a school in New York. And I
Right.
think that's one of the greatest things about Montclair State.
Totally agree.
Yeah. On the other hand, I know you're a visual arts major. Did you minor in fashion design or anything fashion related?
I didn't actually.
Oh,
I
okay.
thought about it, but I think that visual arts is general enough where I could go there.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think fashion, although you don't have to work in the major that you choose, fashion is so
Yeah.
specific. If I find out in my 30s I want nothing to do with fashion and I'm out, I don't think that will happen. But just for example, I think that visual arts was just such a great umbrella of communication, sculpture, painting, business, fashion, you know, all different things. So I kind of preferred to keep it general, kind of like communications. We communicate every single day, all day. And that major itself is, if you don't really know what you're doing, I feel like a lot of people do communications, not in a bad way. I think it's just we apply it to everything we're doing. So visual arts, I kind of thought it the same. I want to do something creative. I just don't know what yet. So having that broad piece with the certificate in entrepreneurship, not that I want to be an entrepreneur, but you never know, that could turn into something as well. So I think visual arts, keeping it general was the best approach for me. And I also know, you know, I respect the fashion industry and the fashion classes. I have a lot of good friends that were fashion majors. So they, you know, they are applying it in different ways as well.
Yeah. I actually as well completed the entrepreneurship certificate.
We did.
And yeah, and I think that's a one thing that we can probably recommend to a lot of people in the art majors, like fashion majors,
Totally.
because it's a really useful thing to have on hand, especially business wise.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally. Mhm.
Do you have any recommendations for graduating seniors or current undergraduates, like especially in the day and age we are now, where the job industry is changing so much? And you being there right now, where it's all just everything's just changing, do you have any recommendations for people who are looking to get jobs right now as they're graduating soon?
Right. First of all, I would say don't rush college because I miss it so much. I think about it all the time, how much I miss going there and being so close to my friends. The luxury of going to school and state. A lot of people are from New Jersey, so I still see them, but you're not, having popcorn at midnight, watching a movie in the dorms. That stuff I miss so much. I'm living at home now. So first of all, don't rush it. But then, start to kind of think. Honestly, I feel like there's so much pressure to get a job right out of school and just get something immediately. I did luck out in the fact that every Tuesday during my class or after, in between my two classes, I would go on LinkedIn or I would go on Hire a Red Hawk and see what's new. I think starting kind of inching your way towards that rather than, okay, I just got my degree in the mail. What am I doing? That's the pressure that I don't think works. And it works for some. I've seen it work, but it doesn't work for all. And I think my approach of doing like weekly check-ins of like, okay, any job postings, can I do little interviews here and there? Even if you don't get the job or want the job, I did probably, I can't even count on my hands how many interviews I did. Interior design, I did one for like kitchen tiling, like all different, aspects of work, just getting that experience of interviewing and having to do something like this, like get on a Zoom, put on your professional hat. I think that helped me eliminate this pressure. And then I did luck out. I got the job I want to say I applied in March, interviewed in April, got it in May, started in July, and graduated in June. So it was pretty seamless for me. I know that doesn't always happen. My sister went to Marist College, great school, valedictorian. She took a 6-month break and then she started to apply after the summer and then got the job in January. So she was not working for a while. I think and she's thriving now. She's at Viacom CBS. So she's thriving. I think everyone's different and you can't put this pressure on yourself to get a job right away and you don't want to settle. I don't think settling works if you want a receptionist job, and not to discount them, they're doing hard work as well, but you want to find something that you want to wake up and go to work. I am a huge advocate for, I love Hermes, I love the people, I love the job. If there's a day I wake up and I'm dreading going, I know it's early mornings, sometimes it can be early, but in the commute, but if there's a day that I realize, I don't know, I think have more cons than pros right now, I would, redirect and I'd reroute. And I think that we have the luxury of having such a good education and a good resume. I think internships are great, clubs are great. I was in a sorority at Montclair. I think that was really what shaped me to be, although it was fun, it also shaped me. I was a recruitment advisor, so I planned events. Maybe event planning is my next move. I think, just getting involved and putting yourself out there, there's no room for error there. I think, and just take every situation, don't compare. I think that's a huge thing too. Some of my friends are going to grad school. Some of my friends are still at college. Some of my friends are like me and commuting and have a 2-hour commute a day. I don't want to compare myself, and I want to go on my own track, which will lead myself to my success. That's my mindset. It always has been.
Wow.
Wow.
Getting deep.
Yeah, you're very informative. Let me ask you this. I was with AT&T and I was an executive there, and I was in a position where they rotated you through various kinds of management positions, so you would understand. And Hermes is just as big,
Right.
Not quite as big as AT&T, but
Right.
there were many things that you could do. Do you envision that the position you have right now is one that you'll have, I guess, for some period of time? And if you do really well, will they rotate you into another position or promote you so you'll get involvement in different aspects of the business of Hermes?
Right. I think that some companies have a track of, after 1 year, you pitch yourself for this next position. Hermes doesn't really do that, but they are advocates for, you don't have to be in the job for a year to get promoted. One of my really good friends at work, Kristen, she started when the branch that I'm in opened in May. 6 months later, she got promoted to supervisor. So I think that, there is room for movement, whether that's supervisor, manager, senior manager, director in client relations, or do I do something? I think what I would like to do after about 8 to 12 months is see, okay, where can I get more creative with this? Is it merchandising? It is
That'd be good.
it's technical. It's an entry-level job. I love this company. I want to stay at this company right now, but I think after a year, I don't want to burn myself out on the client part of it, because I want to learn the back end of it in a different way, whether that be visual merchandising, displays, fashion merchandising, fashion design. I don't know kind of where that would lead me, but I think the client face, my coworker said something so great to me one random day at lunch, and I will never forget this. She said, I am exercising my client muscles so hard right now. Like, I need to exercise another muscle. Like, I don't want to get so strong on one hand and not on the other.
Yeah.
There's going to be a time where I'm going to work out something else. And I really think that's stuck with me in a different way. I don't want to just exercise this part of my skill set forever. I love, speaking with people. I love clients, but that, I'm going to need some time. I don't want to burn out from it. So I will find myself looking for other aspects of Hermes and what they have to offer. They have like an internal port of, it's like a dashboard, kind of, it reminds me of Canvas, kind of. It's like a dashboard of the people, the departments, learning more about the departments, who to reach out to if you're interested. So they are huge promoters of movement and growth. So do we have a set timeline of after 6 months, I'm then going to the store front? No, but maybe that's where I will be in 6 months. Maybe I'll create my own timeline of that. So right now, no timeline. But I think after a year, I'm going to be like, okay, what are we doing next? If there's no movement, then maybe I'll do another company, maybe I'll go back to the tile design. Who knows? But I think that it's been really eye-opening, and I know I want movement eventually.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I think that's all I have to ask so far today.
Okay. All right. Did we miss anything? We had a question set for you.
I want to hear about your, I know you're interviewing me.
Yeah.
But I want to hear about your experience with Montclair. What year are you? What classes are you taking? I want to hear that too.
I'm a junior, and I'm a fashion studies major, and I'm minoring in visual arts and Japanese.
Ooh,
yeah, so I'm planning for to study in Japan to correlate with my fashion major, to get an internship there. Yeah,
that's
so
amazing. Wow.
yeah, next semester I'm still in my beginner fashion courses, because I was set back a bit with a semester. So I just finished like my art foundation classes, so now I'm going into textiles. I actually just took objects and clay, the ceramics class this semester, and I loved it. But Montclair doesn't offer anymore, unfortunately. It's just that one.
Right.
Yeah, but I like what you said about you majoring in visual arts and like how versatile it is, and like you can apply it to anything, because that's the reason why I'm minoring in visual arts too,
Yeah.
to add it onto like the fashion studies major. So yeah.
You're gonna do great. Would that studying in Japan be in the summer? Would you do it in the fall? What are you thinking?
I'm doing both. I'm doing a scholarship for the summer and then an internship for the fall. So they're like two separate things, but they're both going to be in Japan.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, good luck. Oh
Thank
my God,
you.
awesome. You're gonna do great. You're gonna
Thank
do great.
you.